fate today to really look into how we can alleviate agriculture and especially in the area of rice farming. And we are excited because Philippines is the epitome of rice farming, and technology, even, right? And I was intrigued. Next week is the Singapore's president is visiting me for the first time. Yeah, I think this is the first time in history a president of Singapore is coming. And just to show how serious this investment is, we do intend to take it all the way, where we partner with multiple IPs and also agriculture co-ops and barangays to develop what has a very unique, we call it super grain, Adlai rice farming. Okay, Adlai rice essentially uh, grows quite openly or organically in the Philippines, right? It's gluten free, of course, sugar free, GMO free. And why are we as a group wanting to push such an agenda? I'll share with you a bit more on that later. But first, I want to honor our partners and our investors. All right. Today we have in present Mr. Charlie Ying.
Hi.
He's the chairman of Raffles Capital, Apex Capital, and every other capital.
No, no.
Right,
I don't have. I happen to be the founder. No, 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 no.
Yeah. And of course, with that vision, he has always been astute in looking for sustainable projects around the world. And when we were introduced to him, we were really excited to discuss really at length. Now, first meeting was on Zoom. I was in Dubai, he was in Hong Kong or
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yes.
Yeah. And we got along well, and we thought we had the same vision of wanting to bring agricultural standards around the world, right, to a level where liquidity, financing, and support is no longer just a concern, but also that sort of support that we have for the average farmer.
Yeah.
We like to see farmers improve in terms of quality standard and also liquidity.
Yeah.
That's my wife.
Hi,
Who's
Cindy.
also a Filipino.
Hi, there's Cindy.
Charlie.
And Charlie.
And it is also important to note that because of this partnership, we were able to now discuss on a lot more future projects, right? Of course, still in wanting to develop rice as a whole for the country. And the culprit of this is Mr. Louis, who married us, right? So Louis is our board advisor for World Food Chain Group as well as Food Starter Group, together with my wife, who's the managing director of Food Starter Philippines. We went through many months, right, of looking at what is the right product to support in terms of how we would grow in the Philippines. And after much deliberation, this Mr. Louis decided to introduce us to Charlie. And that was how this beautiful relationship was born. Today, we're here really to witness the signing, right, of a tripartite agreement between Raffles Capital, Apex Capital Asia, and World Food Chain Group, supported by Food Starter Philippines. We will be signing to develop the first 20,000 hectares of rice farm in Mindanao. Right. Subsequently, we'll look at other regions such as Lucia, also Central Luzon, Manga, already has a lot of requests. As a matter of fact, there's quite a popular hobby farm called, I think it's San Benito, right? Yeah. So our agronomist is going there on Monday. Yeah, to look at developing and helping them to create a healthy lifestyle farm, right? Which we hope that it could be translated to all other, farms, Airbnb or farm and relax kind of wellness. Yes, exactly, solutions, and therefore that's how it will transpire. So I think I'll pause here for a moment and call upon Mr. Charlie to share his company's vision and how he sees the partnership as well as the future of sustainability, right? Where capitalization is concerned.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. First of all, I must thank Big Brother Louis, my one and only Manila friend
Now you got plenty.
at that time, and and um and and after knowing him, then I realized he's such a very influential person here. So I'm indeed grateful and honored to be a friend of his. And the last time I was in Philippines was something like in 1984, right?
Wow.
So, and it's been away for 40 years. And I was explaining to everybody, I said, this time when I come back to Manila, I'm so happy that I can do something meaningful. Secondly, I really strike off on a very good relationship with Jeremy, and we are both Singaporeans. And immediately when we're on the phone call, although we are miles apart. He's in Dubai. I'm in somewhere else, not in Singapore. And it happened that Singapore today is Singapore's National Day. So, and we want to take this opportunity to really celebrate Singapore's National Day. And we hope that our tiny little island and our tiny little initiative that we're able to bring forth a very dramatic and very impactful development in the Philippines. Because in Singapore, we talk about food security, we talk about sustainability. And for me, I look at the farmers and the people around it, sustainability into the future. And I never discovered that Adlai rice uh, consumes so little water in order that it can have multiple harvests in a year. And I never realized that the number of carbon and dioxide that it really emits it's been reduced so significantly that I was stunned, that really Adline rice give rise to good sustainability to the environment, a higher income to farmers, and but most important, all that product, I little that I learned that you really can help a lot of people who are suffering from, example, diabetes. All right, and if I walk into China as an example, which I spent the last 20 over years of my life there, I discovered that almost among elder people, about 40% of them are suffering from this disease. So therefore, they need to have a rice of a different nature. And this rice is really a godsend, so that you help the farmer, you help the environment, and you help the people who are in need. So that's the reason why we like it. And I like it from a financial standpoint that $1 you put into the ground, it comes up many dollars into our pockets. So that is the real reason that we invest, right? But from Raffles Capital's point of view, we are very aligned to the SDG, Sustainability Development Goal 17 of the United Nations. We believe that all our investments have to really deliver social impact that enhances prosperity and progress for the people and the planet. So that is our intent and purpose in our mission of our business. And of course, Raffles being a partner of Bowstead Apex, it is a pre-IPO from private equity to public listing arrangement advisory company. So in other words, example of, let's say, Food Starter, you're a private equity company. You need the initial money to start growing 20,000 hectares. Then after a while, you grow and we get you the SDG funding of 50 to 100 million USD. Then you grow and expand to another 100,000 to 200,000 hectares. So by that time, you hit the market of that size, you should be uplisted on the New York Stock Exchange or on the NASDAQ. So that's where you make a significant contribution to be a billion-dollar company, a unicorn. Then, with that kind of market stature, you were able to get the financial standing and get the kind of trade facilities that you need so that the farmers can get the seed, can get the support that you need to restart planting. All right, and that's how the whole cycle can have to come about. So Bowstead Apex has been in this business for about 25 years. So we sponsor a lot of companies to get listed on the United States Stock Exchange. So in fact, Bowstead is the #1 underwriter in America for all IPO, global IPOs. So I'm very proud and very happy and honored that we can gang up with Bowstead so that we can give Asian companies, especially Philippine companies, especially startups, see how we can help them, especially in the space of ESG aligned, SDG aligned companies. So I hope that this collaboration is the beginning, all right? And talking from a Singaporean point of view, we hope that some of this rice and these bananas, pineapples, Philippines best products have to go to Singapore, all right, because of food security. So what's the point of having a rich nation but no food? So it does not work. All right. So our sustainability and food security strategy is important. They make good friends with Manila so that in times of need, all right, send up some rice, send up some bananas. So because we are invested here, so we have the natural obligation that we can send some food over there. Okay, so that's my intent and purpose. I'm speaking for and on behalf of Singaporeans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Of course, our
Big
witness
brother.
here today, Mr. Louis. Louis has been truly an inspiration to me. He's like a mentor to our company in the Philippines. A little stuck nugget about him is he's always helping the low income and the IP people to pay their taxes. That's amazing, isn't it? He's the godfather of IP. No, but it is truly because of the effort that Louis has spent all these years helping IP land owners that they felt also a way of obligation, right? They want to work with him to look into what can they harvest and plant in the Philippines, which really inspired us to work with the IPs. And I also deliberate this really intently with my wife about what product could best represent the Philippines. And earlier I say why I would share on the second part of the conversation is that, Philippines, I would say, used to be one of the largest exporter of rice.
Yes.
Today, we are the largest importer of rice. Yes. And I think beyond the geopolitics, beyond the different issues of trades that happens within the country and outside, we discuss about what do we really bring to the table that makes a difference. And the difference has to be significant. It has to be a lofty dream, right? And this dream that we had was when we tabled to Charlie and said, I want to do 1 million hectares. And he went, are you sure? I said, yes, because we have someone, the godfather of IP land, that we essentially have more than 1 million hectares of different IP potential thatch lands, right? And these land belong to locals. We have no intent to buy any of these farmland, but to support them in financing and growing. It's actual fact that they are OEM growing for us, a subcontract land. And then we can look into the right framework in terms of distribution and where these rice will end up. And I told Charlie, we have to be intentional about the way we want to grow the rice. And who do we engage? How much rice do we grow? How much land do we use? How many farmers do we hire? So when we look at Philippines, it's 14 million square miles of farmable land. We're using only 25 to 35% at best. And 10.7 million registered farmers. And I was speaking to a few farmers who's driving Grab. And they told me, I wish I could farm because that was how they were brought up. But circumstance and the farm gate price was not attractive for them to stay on in agriculture. So we hope that in time to come, we will be able to partner with the right departments
Yeah.
within Philippines, whether it's in agriculture, agrarian reform, or different farming co-ops. And with that effort, help to bring rice production and export again to the level it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, we chose Adlai as per what Charlie shared earlier, is that, um, well, if you guys know much about Adlai rice, uh, it's mostly grown in hilly regions, right? But it can also grow on low sea elevation, right? 1 to 100 meters. In fact, the lower it is, the likelihood of the production harvest is higher, maybe up to 2, 3 hours a year. Per hectare of Adlai rice uses only 50 liters of water.
Compared to normal
Compared
rice.
to regular rice or fried rice is 2,005 liters of water per hectare. So you're talking about 50 times more. And this, of course, contributes to carbon, contributes to water dependency. Right? And these are the key environmental factors that we wanted to highlight. And for Adlai, when you plant once, you harvest up to 2 to 3 times if you want. And you don't have to uproot it, right? Whereas for regular rice, every time you plant, you need to uproot after you harvest. And the destoning process, the drying process is lengthy. So it takes a long time. Whereas for Adlai, the moment you harvest, you can immediately mill it and cook it, yeah, without having to aerate, sun dry, so on and so forth. So the time frame of the conversion of the food supply chain from farm to farm gate and export out or distribution out, it's much faster. At the moment, you would see it in the market, it costs between selling price, RSP, about 200 to sometimes 430, depending on which brand you visit. Okay, we have with our partners, they are currently sold at SNR, at Healthy Options, lenders, marketplace. Different brands are doing that. But we started exporting out to Singapore, a bit to Malaysia. We got some to Dubai now, and hopefully next will be Australia. It is sold at a much higher selling price overseas, right, at the moment. So we hope that in order for the price of Adlai to be a bit more palatable to the mass market, we have to target the middle income, right? And then that's where the middle income, and I think Filipinos like to always bless your other communities or family members, right? And then you target to the rest of the population in time to come. But in order to do that, we have to increase the production and increase the farming, right? I think today you wouldn't see 20,000 hectares of Adlai rice farming at all, anyway. So this is a very initial step, but we believe it's a step to the right way of engagement. And this would hopefully in time to come, it's not about replacing regular rice, it's about providing a good, healthy source of rice, right? And I'm not even going to call it alternative. It has to be, if you want to bring change and significant change to the society at large when it comes to rice consumption, you need to bring the right product. And that is where our core competence is in terms of partnering up with the right farming community. And we have, to begin with, a really professionally run community in Mindanao. And they have been doing Adlai for years, decades. Because the IP people see that as their pride and joy. It's like their own baby. They don't just harvest it and go like, okay, let's make money and sell. They really bring it to the table and say, let's consume this. And that was a culture and their destiny to grow. So we see in the long term that let's make this a significant export product that Philippines can be proud of. And of course, bring awareness with IP community. That's what we hope to achieve from sustainability standpoint, economically and socially. So I think today.
So I think Jeremy, maybe I just add a joinder over there. When you have the farmers community and the middle market community, I think that's a very important part that in the traditional agriculture business, very few people think about the capital community, because when you have so many hectares of land and so many farmers as available, all right, they are the underserved and unserved segment of the business. So therefore, we need to plug the last part of the whole value chain. The capital market have to get involved, so that you have the funding to have the seeds to plant, the funding to be able to support the middle market. So this is the area that's always missing, because the agriculture industry traditionally have been run by farmers. So today with Jeremy, together with Raffles Capital, we're bringing the two extreme end of the value chain, from the farming community to the capital community, how we bridge them together so they have an endless supply of capital, so that you're able to generate endless supply of food on the table. So that is the part that is missing. So that's the reason why Raffles Capital, we say that we have to get World Food and Food Starter to be listed on the United States Stock Exchange. Why America? Why not Philippines? Why not Singapore? Why not Hong Kong? Because in America, they have $54 trillion market cap in the world. So they're the world's largest capital market. So you want the money that there's 54 trillion waiting there. So it's only how do you want to have the investor to switch from investing in Apple, or switch investing in Nvidia into Food Starter, or into World Food Chain, depending on how Jeremy and Cinderella present to the world. All right, the money is on the table. It's how do you grab it. All right, and I tell you, the need for food, the need for good, stable food is far greater than the need for telephones and computers. I can assure you. But unfortunately, people are marketing electronic rice, semiconductors. They're not marketing enough of human rice. And that's where the irony. The best talents are being used to make electronic rice, and left with only the few guys like us to start moving into the traditional agriculture rice. So we have to have a switch in priorities in our life. Okay, so that's the reason why when I touch up with Jeremy, I said, look here, the whole equation is that I'm not going to lend you the money that you're going to repay me. No way. So you borrow money from me, and you have money from me, but then I don't want you to repay. I don't want Cinderella to repay. I want the stock market to repay. So the exit is through the stock market. So then the stock market is not about only the sum of money, because the stock market has an endless appetite to support you if your business is, number one, green. Number two, makes sense. Your returns are good. The use of water is so little. The environment is well protected. So why not? So therefore, I think it's important that these two areas of the whole value chain have to be fully integrated as one ecosystem. Then I think we have something to really contribute to Mother Earth.
That's right.
Yeah, especially in Philippines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, World Food Chain believes strongly, save our
Yeah.
farms, feed our world. That's our key, message that we want to drive across the world. Right? But in order to do that today, I think you can't escape from the fact that you need a lot of awareness, marketing, social, making farming sexy. They call it, right? Yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited. Can we sign the contract?
and I often toy this talk with my wife because she's in jewelry design.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So I said, it's your job to make farming really sexy and fashionable. Yeah, and I think in the recent 2 years, a lot of farmers that we've encountered, farming communities that we encountered, we started some foundation. Then, what I meant by that is that we created a Web3 culture in them, right? So like farmers will have NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
They will have digital wallets. Then they receive payments in
The cards.
stable tokens and so on and so forth. And that created a basic foundation where we can reach out to them, and the younger farmers are starting to show interest. Right? And then, first last year we launched our farming game called Mentor Farms, which we won on CNN final pitch.
Yeah.
And we now have about 21,000 gamers who, not just in Philippines, but around the world. This year, October, we'll launch the game proper in Philippines. And the tokens that the gamers win and stick on the game, the fund to be dispensed out to a registered farming co-op. Yeah. And then it's their duty and their job to make sure that the funds are used specifically for the farming of those products that's agreed. But that we'll leave that to a different conversation because it's very lengthy, the whole process. So yes, we are excited too.
Yeah, let's get going. Any questions from our friends and all that, so we can help to supplement it. So yes.
If there will be groups who are interested to be part of this online community, who will provide the training and in what capacity will be the basic format?
I'll answer this for you.
Yes, right.
So if they're allied communities or people with farmland, right, to make sense of it, I think a good start 5 hectare and above, right? And they can register on our portal, FundLink. We have a portal, and we send that to you. And once they are registered with us, we would be able to bring the right consultation, land, soil test, so on and so forth, with the farmer or the farmland owner.
And this will all also be, as I would say, supported with an agreement with the
of course.
farmer. Another thing, have you already reached out to NCIP?
No. We've only touched base with various farming co-ops in the Philippines.
The chairperson is a good friend of mine, and maybe Carla, we can do a meeting on that matter. So we'll just coordinate with Carla for that. So we can introduce, because if you've already penetrated in Mindanao, is it in Bukidnon?
Yes, Bukidnon. Cagayan de Oro. Yes.
Sabrina is also a friend.
Yeah.
So anyways,
just at her place.
And I know I think a lot of the land that has already an existing Adlai, what's this, plantation is in Lantapan. I've seen that when I was there 9 months ago. Balay. They're not yet in Talakan, but you can extend that part in Pasugong, then Carlos, and many more in Mindanao. Do you have in Negros? She's also landed.
All sugar cane used to be grown in Negros.
Yes, I think so. Instead of sugar, maybe that's something.
So as a sideline, if in a sugar plantation, if the land are being degraded, we have a solution to enhance the land and refertilize it and alkaline it and then detox it because land has a lot of chemical and a lot of toxins. So we need to remediate the land. So we have a technology that we are able to do that, so that you are able to do crop rotation. Then at the same time, make the land richer, let the land rest, and at the same time, uplift the production output of the land. Okay, so we have the technology because Raffles Capital, we invest in land remediation. We invest in making different type of trees, and we do what we call carbon credit creations. So these are the things that that you need to do because if you study the history of everything, land always need time to rest. So you need to remediate the land. And with the toxins and chemicals that's coming, so the food chain is very frightening.
Time frame for that?
I mean, usually everybody say every 7 years you better let the land rest a bit, like Sabah, So, I mean, it's natural. It's logical thinking. If you overwork the land, where the land going to get all the nutrients? You used up, right? So therefore, you need to have a technology to remediate the land without putting more chemical, putting more fertilizer. So when the food that comes up from the land is not so rich and it's not so healthy, then you come up to our human food chain, then that's why a lot of people in certain countries suffer cancer and all kinds of problems at a very young age. Okay, it's not because of the environment, it's not because of the food they eat and the way we process the food. So example like the like rice, you don't process it, you don't polish it. So in fact, all the goodies are in the area that you don't polish. So, but unfortunately, because people want it to be whiter flour, whiter this, whiter that, for all kinds of SK2, you know. So you polish the whole thing, so all the nutrients and goodies are all being washed out. So in airline rice, there's no such thing. So the nutrient, the goodness are all remain intact. So we hope that we can come back to the pristine world of remediation, reduction of carbon footprint, reduction of carbon dioxide, reduction of water consumption. Example, you know, the amount of water that the traditional rice use, right, versus airline. No, you can save Mother Earth, you can save a country because some countries are really running out of water. So the new warfare of the future is the export of water. Wheat, rice, these are huge water consuming parties. Beef is another big water consumption party. So if you eat 1 kilo of durian versus 1 kilo of beef, you know, the amount of carbon the beef emits is significant compared to durian. But the protein quality is the same. The capital return is the same. But to have the 1 kilo of beef, you know how much of land is being wasted, how much of grass had to be done, how much of water, whereas durian, nothing. So therefore, I think the agriculture play to make Mother Earth greener becomes a very important proposition. And we, being in the capital market, we cannot ignore this change. And we have to quickly come in to play our part, to contribute, so that the people can start focusing to go back to fundamentals. All right, and then we can go back to a more pristine environment. So that's what we hope for. And of course, we make money along the way.
And eat durian.
Naughty.
Just to pass on this information out, one friend of ours who actually invited her. They have the Maharlika Foundation that what's this overseas or some activities that they do for the IPs also in Zambales and Bataan. So they have expressed interest into this thing. So that's two of the how's this potential group of what's this group agency, government agency, and the foundation that we can pass on card for this.
Wonderful.
That's the thing.
Okay.
But of course, just on the technical aspect, that's very important. An important component, you know, when you transgress this kind of partnership.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Any question?
Yeah, question.
Yes, please.
When promoting Adlai Rice, do you conduct seminars in various areas to better educate people, especially urban farmers, about the benefits of producing this crop over others?
Yes, we do. In fact, I think about almost a year ago, we started with, well, at least for Kickstarter, we started with several roadshows around the world. Okay, so we did not just do it internally within the Philippines because it's already done. In the case of Hinilivan, they've been very active. They used to also have a Hinilivan cafe in Greenbelt before COVID, and they did extensive promotions on anything you can think of socially. They were part of it. Now, when we got to know of the different groups of ADLI cooperatives and ADLI companies, we started participation with food shows in Philippines, outside of Philippines. For World Food Chain, we have been sharing and evangelizing in Gulf Food Green, for example, or Gulf Food coming up in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, at in Congress. We shared the importance of the UN, right? A big bunch of them, the importance of looking into a less water dependency super green, which benefits the world. There was an interesting event that we was able to share. And this year again at AIM Congress, we also took the opportunity to talk about how we can bring change into rice agriculture. We had a surprise visit from Mr. Charlie Fox. You know, he talked about design of the farms, you know, very futuristic mindset. But it was just a casual chat. But for us, we look at the right way of engaging different types of farming techniques, methods, and then at every possible stage, when we engage with a farming co-op, for example, we will share the importance of growing the headline and how it can be grown in their community. Yeah. So last year, one of the biggest, I think, was Southern Luzon Farming Cooperative Federation level. I think about almost 100 of them went to Singapore to our office. Yeah, it was like a school field trip. You know, and then we shared with them about how their own farms, right, in Cavite all the way up to Batangas, they all do their own growing of that land, and that generated an interest in wanting to convert some of those land, and we even visited other farmlands, right, in Pampanga, who indicated great interest in wanting to do that. So the education, the roadshow cannot stop, right, until we achieve our core mission is to really bring change into agriculture segment, especially in Airline.
Thank you. We're so thankful for Filipinos to have here in our country.
Yeah, he's planning to become Filipino.
They call me Singapino.
Singapino. Singapino. Very good. Shall we just
Yes.
So there's generally interest in different areas, right? As mentioned as well. And how do they begin? Basically from grassroots. They will need capital, they will need all these. So
That's right.
let's say, where do they begin?
So the process of application would be when they express interest, they come to our site, register themselves, right? And then we need to, of course, do some basic checks and KYC, including things like how long they've been a farmer, and rice farming, land titles, so on and so forth, right? Just to be sure that they are who they are, and then they have the experience also. Basic experience is sufficient. Barring which, of course, like I said, it is 5 hectares and above. We then bring our agronomists to check on the land site. We will do soil tests, water tests, so on and so forth, that is suitable and appropriate for growing the type of seed that we have. And then we look at providing then the know-how and technology. Every quarter, our food starter team will be doing the audits itself to check on how much growth it has been. There will be constant communication through the app under FarmLink. There's a food starter app that we completed. There's also a chat function where the farmers can consult the agronomist and the advice of the senior agronomist on how the progress are. Because we want to make sure that they're successful. Because if they're not successful, we're not going to be successful, right? And after which, if the planting season starts, we'll go on an annualized planting season with them. Yeah, because in a year you can expect up to maximum 3 harvests, but 2 harvests is a good start. So per hectare, they should be able to generate about 5 to 6 tons, right? Pre-meal. Post-meal about 3.5 to 4 tons. And if there's 2 harvests a year, that will be about 6 to 8 tons realistically, right? And that becomes a very important selling point for the at-life farmers. So we hope to bring up the farm gate price to about 40 pesos for them, to 50 maximum, and that speaks volume already, right? And they will make more money in that sense.
It's 40 per
Kilo.
kilo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad,
against other crops?
Well, if we just compare against other rice, it would be about 16 to 23 pesos.
So it's
per
about
kilo.
double.
Yes,
Yeah, so they double their income.
Yeah.
So what it really means that province GDP will go up by twice the amount. So in today's day and age, GDP increasing by 100% or 200% is unheard of. So there will be a quantum change, and it would definitely enhance the quality of the lifestyle and the dignity of the farmers.
Of course, one interesting point I want to highlight was that the gamers on the Mata Farm games, Matt Warren, the whole team that developed it, most of them are Filipinos who developed the game. The gamers are encouraged to visit the farm and do the harvest as well. Right? You don't just play games. Okay? Yeah, you don't just win tokens and stick and make money, but you also have a chance, an opportunity to visit the farms and do the harvest.
Yeah.
And then the farm co will actually cook them a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we did that. So it was quite interesting. And
After they harvest 1 ton, right, you give them 100 tokens. For the sweat that they have contributed. So they do the mining, understand?
There you go.
So that's the mining.
That's
Mine on the ground by harvesting.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? It is interesting. We had one of the token holders who went to the farm and he harvested. Oh my goodness, it's so hard to be a VC these days. You even have to come work under the hot sun.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask, the future of farming
Yes.
relies on innovation, definitely.
Yes.
So what, because you earlier discussed gaming,
Mm.
and also what, in case those who don't really understand it,
Mm.
what is Meta Farms,
Mm.
and what is the gaming aspect of it, and
Mhm.
how is it connected to our
Sure.
topic?
So in the world of digitalization today, there's a buzzword called RWA, real world asset. How real world asset to be measured is by the actual business that goes behind it, rather than just a digital representation. So today, if we have a hectare of land, when we say tokenized, meaning that we use all the metadata information of this land, what kind of soil, how much water it used, how big is the per hectare, and what is it being used to grow, right? And you translate all that information into the game itself. So when you are a gamer, you log on, register, become a gamer, and you go, okay, I want to plant Adlai, or I want to plant onions. Right? It's a sore topic. And then you start going through that harvest process. And when it harvests, you earn, right? Because you're essentially allowing the harvest as a protocol within the game. So when you earn, you can use those tokens to stake. Staking is as if like you're putting a deposit, right? So the token has a value that goes into the game itself, right, for staking, and then that will translate to actual currency that we can exhibit as a stable pesos, a stable token in this context. And the funds will be administered by our foundation, Food Starter Foundation. And we actually look at them partnering up with a registered group of co-op, farming co-op, or farmer, right? And then the whole process of the onboarding starts from there on. Yeah, that would be translating on the online world, the real world aspect. So once the farming process is done, they sell, right? The earnings will go back to the digital wallets, which will be then dispensed out to all the token holders. Yeah. So it is fully transparent, and that land is a representation of another plot of land, a real plot of land on the physical world. So there's always accountability. So if we say ultimately we go up to 20,000 hectares, that means these 20,000 gamers have to do their job.
So this is where technology and technology is AI also included in this?
Yes, yes. The AI part is built intently to capture styles and patterns and habits and way people play the farm game. And then, of course, gamers would actually do translation where they would want to put in their inputs on how to improve the game, right? How to make bigger wins for the farmers and how to participate with farmers. And there was some of our earlier gamers who also said they want to teach the farmers how to play the game in their downtime. Yeah, just waiting, right? Every day. So might as well they, like he said, right? They mine the game and they earn something as well through the game, right? And what is important is we want to make sure that this game you can't rug pull rug pull means that you can just exit and then leave everyone to lurch, right? Because it's tokenized to a real farmland. Farmers are involved, gamers are involved, and our company, being a Filipino company, have to set the precedence for the standards of wanting to implement real world assets into gaming. So that's the reason why farming and gaming can integrate together, yeah, from that perspective.
So, Mr. Susan,
Susan.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
you mentioned some ways to create awareness for this one. Because for Adlai, as a sustainable and very nutritious meal, or I mean, as part of our meal, how can we make it as part of our lifestyle, a Filipino lifestyle?
Well, as I was telling you earlier, to start with, let's go to the rich people. When you go to specialized restaurants and you put this Adlai, you can put it on a promo, okay? Because the moment the rich people, most of them are probably diabetic like me, because they eat a lot.
Rich
So-
people.
The point is they'll see the effect. But the eating Adlai rice, you can eat as much food as you like, less rice, and your sugar, diabetic number in sugar will go down.
Yeah.
tremendously. I, for one, before Jeremy told me about the Adlai, every time at night, I eat a plate full of rice. In the morning, I'm 180, 190, 200. Okay? When he told me try Adlai rice, I didn't like it, but I have to take it because he says try it. It's good for your health. After about a week of doing it, I eat lots of Adlai rice. My sugar is 110, 100. So the culprit is the rice. Now, if a lot of rich people, people who can afford in the middle class, can see the effect, what do you think they will do? They will not eat ice cream anymore. They will put their money in Adlai rice rather than buying ice cream because they can live longer. And pretty soon, usually the rich ones are being followed by the less. Okay, so I feel it will go down. And also the farmers, the ordinary farmers who are producing Adlai rice will have extra, plenty of Adlai rice. They can see the effect of what it can do to them.
Yeah.
So they will now tell it to the ordinary farmers, ordinary people. And here you have the poor and the rich somewhere along the line. It will meet somewhere. But really, I think Adlai rice is the best thing that can happen to a lot of people who are diabetic. Why? If you take Adlai rice, less medicine.
Yeah.
Right? Look at me, my medicine, the medicine I take for, I spend about 8,000 pesos a month on my medicine because of my diabetes. My diabetes. You know? So in the moment you have that, I'm just one of the millions of Filipinos who are diabetic. Every member of my family is diabetic. You know, unlimited Coca-Cola, unlimited ice cream, unlimited sweets.
So my percentage is wrong, 40%.
I mean, of course, there will be lots of advertisements, and you can have famous people. Let's get fat people to advertise. Look, I lost. I used to be 200. I'm now 170, 180. You know what I mean? You get a fat one who's very popular. All of a sudden, everybody sees there's a slim. How did you do that? It's abnormal.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
why I make farming sexy.
Yeah.
No, but I think the most important thing is the rice. My first reaction to it is was not that attractive. But then again, with some creativity in cooking, in coming up with different ideas and food preparation, then it becomes tasty, becomes exotic. So again, it needs creativity. So example, none of them used it to really mold it and until become like flour. Then you make it into the usual pancake, or make it into the usual noodles, or make it into it almost like a pancake based product, or even as a pizza based product. So, but you need to spend time and effort to create that recipe so that it makes it exotic. And at the same time, without departing from the usual taste bud. So example, I saw the Adeline Rice do the Singapore signature dish, chicken rice, you know. So
Yeah, we
and
did that.
and our chicken rice, I tell, is the biggest culprit for carbo and for oil and all that. No? So, but the moment you know how to use the Adeline rice, do it in the way. Similarly, like if you do the nasi biryani here, what do you call it, nasi biryani here? The kind of rice is very oily and so forth. But again, you know, how do you process it so that you enjoy the taste, but at the same time you also enjoy the nutrient quality, and at the same time take care of your health, especially in the area of reducing carbo, increasing proteins.
You know, I like your idea
Yeah.
of the pizza.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of Filipinos are pizza lovers.
yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine if you can convince Pizza Hut
Yeah.
or Yellow Cab, hey, try this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people
Mm.
eat pizza and they're fat. It's oily. Can you just imagine just advertising gimmick using a pizza?
Well, we
That's a great idea.
we have recently successfully launched the Headline sourdough.
Yeah.
Right,
The,
it's
the,
available.
the sourdough is
Yeah.
important.
It's available in the cafe right next. Called Make and Make It. Yeah, but the experiment was successful. So we call it Headline.
All right.
Headline. Yeah, and it was interesting. And then now we're doing Headline Pandasa. That will be the next recipe that's being developed. But certainly, we do see that as an opportunity for turning multiple byproducts. You know, from rice paper to rice cakes, rice chips, rice wine, rice vinegar. All you could use at live for multi-purposes. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, spaghetti noodles, right? That you can translate rice noodles or at live rice noodles. Yeah, we did quite a lot of experiment in Singapore. We used it for sushi bowl. I can send you all the pictures. Fried rice.
Send all the
We
food.
wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah.
See all the food, don't send the pictures.
Yeah, even tteokbokki.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
because
did.
I'm into low carb, so I experiment a lot of things because I don't want to eat like sweets or anything.
Ah.
So I said, oh, I miss tteokbokki, but that's rice. So I experiment with Adlai rice, and then oh my gosh, I enjoyed tteokbokki already.
Yeah.
How can they make Adlai affordable at the moment? The price point is different from regular rice.
Yes.
So in order for the consumers to really embrace this and awareness to spread,
Yeah.
it usually the price point is a big factor in decision making.
That's right. So
Sometimes more than health decisions.
Right.
Sometimes more because you have to feed your kids and all. So when and how can you make it as affordable as possible?
Is a function of market forces.
Mm.
So currently, it's a very niche product. So for profit maximization, we have to maintain the price point. But the moment from 20,000 hectares to 1,000,000 hectares, the production volume is different. The markets now get infiltrated into the lower level. So therefore, your price point will just automatically have to go down with the increase in quantity. So that is how I think we need to really evolve and come up with a very good harvesting strategy so that we can increase the output. So therefore, the price point can drop. So it's a function of quantity, supply, demand. These three you have to play around with. And of course, being in a capitalist market, so we have to make sure that the shareholders' return are well managed, and also the farmers' return also have to be well managed. So if not, the motivation to plant is not there. So the guy says, go back to $16 a kilo. What's the game for me? There's no game, right? So we have to manage all these things together. But at the end of the day, quantity is the key name of the game.
Before you change your minds, maybe you'd like to sign contracts now.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Seal the deal, huh? Charlie?
Yeah, right?
I think we'll sit on this side.
Yeah, so this opposite each other, is it? Or side by side?
No, side by side.
Serious or side by side? Three copies?
Yeah, and then,
Sorry, Louis.
No, it's like that.
Very nice.
Last page, yeah.
I just sent my brother a picture. Now I'm by. She loves rice.
Now I can eat plenty.
I'm by today right away.
I forgot myself. Yeah, switch. Role play.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to. No, we'll take picture together.
Yeah, maybe I do now. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you should pull up the
Agreement and
agreement.
agreement.
Hold the phone. Yeah, no. This room?
So how many? Three spots.
Okay. It's, first holding up. Holding up. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, you cover all the, otherwise you join,
Yeah.
you block the logos, right? Yeah, we just do separate. Yeah, Grace, take a shot. Today I know that I got a Korean pop guy like that, his hairstyle, I'm gonna change. Okay, good. Thank
And,
you.
the last picture, the ASEAN pose.
Oh, ASEAN. Oh, serious. Wow, wow, Chris Paul.
Okay.
Wow, Louis' hand so warm, huh? So much to say. We young men know how to hold body cold. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. Bye.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
Ellen, thanks, thanks, big brother.
I'd like to present some takeaways for
Thanks.
members of the press and guests. Distribute the pen.
Hope you like that. Thank you so much. We have to hard work. Mike, you like it?
Everybody would look like that.
Oh, you like that? Okay, right.
Hindi daw nakalabas yung napirmahan.
I see. Jeremy,
Yes.
I think there's a problem here. It wasn't shown, so. Okay. They want to see the pages.
Charlie, you wanna?
Yeah, you know the pages, all
Yeah.
signature, all serious.
Get to show signature.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, come. Grace, do a shot for me.
Or so thanks.
Okay. Wait, I like one more.
Your phones.
Use yours, never. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. You know, he got a very good thing. He said,
We'll take one more picture with the,
what?
before we give away to the guests.
What is this?
Our rice and the,
Oh,
yeah,
The
the
t-shirt.
t-shirt, yes.
So how do you get?
We do, no, we take picture first, then we give.
Okay, hold it, hold it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, this one.
And the other, yeah, okay, there, and then,
We are here.
and then, okay, yours. There, and then.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Thank you so much. Wow. This is solid. Oh, good. Okay.
Let's give it to the.
Yes.
Yes.
DNA.
Let's start together and so.
I just add later.
Wow, I am like, professional, it's already in